All right, hello everybody and welcome to our panel today about performing arts. We are so very excited that you are able to join us. And before turning things over to our wonderful panelists today, just a couple housekeeping notes for everybody. First, there are many more amazing sessions that are happening with our colleges over the next few weeks. So if you're interested in learning more from institutions, please sign up for some more sessions on our StrivesScan website. Also, if you like to share all the great information that you are learning today from our panelists, then there will be a recording available after the session today at strivescan.com/Virginia. So you can keep it for your own records, or if you want to share it out with somebody else who wants to learn about the performing arts and turning that into a career, you can do so as well. Also, if you have questions that happen throughout this presentation, please use the Q&A function to ask our panelists. Your microphone and your cameras are turned off. So if you would like to ask any questions, please do so through the Q&A. So our panelists cannot see or hear you. So make sure you use that function, and you can use that at any point during the presentation and our panelists will be happy to help. So on that note, I will turn things over to get things started off with our representative from James Madison University.
Okay. Thank you very much. It's such a pleasure to be here with you today. I'm going to go ahead and share our screen with our presentation information here. Give me just one moment to do that. And so my name is Sheena Ramirez, and I'm the Director of Recruitment for the College of Visual and Performing Arts at James Madison University. I'll be speaking first, and we are also joined by colleagues from Baldwin University, Shenandoah University, and Catawba College. So we'll go ahead and get started talking a little bit about the College of Visual and Performing Arts here at JMU. I serve for the Director of Recruitment for the School of Art Design and Art History, the School of Music, and the School of Theater and Dance. And for those of you who are not familiar with JMU, we are a large university. We are in Harrisonburg, Virginia, which is right in the Shenandoah Valley, 2 hours from DC, 2 hours from Richmond, a short drive to anywhere along the East Coast. So it's very convenient for students who are looking to visit any major metropolitan areas along the East Coast. We have approximately 20,000 undergraduate students, and then we have over 70 different undergraduate majors, pre-professional programs, and different programs that you can study as a student at JMU, which makes it very easy to combine your love for the visual and performing arts along with any one of the other programs that we offer here at JMU. Within the College of Visual and Performing Arts, I'm going to be talking a little bit about our 3 schools today. So for those of you who have an interest in learning about some of the career paths of our visual artists as well, I'll be touching on that as well as our performing artists. So we'll get started by talking about the School of Art Design and Art History. We are so lucky to have some beautiful, completely renovated facilities and wonderful workshops and studio spaces for our visual artists. Those include Duke Hall, we have our Studio Design Center, as well as our Memorial Hall Arts Complex. These 3 buildings give students the synergy to work with faculty members in closed settings to be able to view. We have 5 on-campus art galleries as well, and just the top-notch equipment that gives our students access to the tools that they would need to become professional practicing artists. Within our majors, we offer majors in architectural design, art history, studio art, graphic design, and industrial design. We also have a concentration available in art education that's available for any student in any program. So we have actually had a 100% job placement rate for students in the art education program. JMU was founded as a teacher's college, so many of our students go on to teach in some capacity, and JMU has a really strong reputation in the Commonwealth for providing excellent educators at the pre-K through 12 level. Other careers that our visual artists are going into, they're working as designers, they're working as with independent companies, they're working for marketing firms, they're working as independent artists and working at universities and going on to top level graduate schools. Moving on to our School of Music, we are so lucky to have the beautiful Forbes Center for the Performing Arts, which we're celebrating our 10-year anniversary, but if you walk inside this building, it looks like it was built yesterday. The Forbes Center for the Performing Arts has 5 performing arts venues, including a concert hall, which is the photo that you're seeing here. We have a main stage hall, we have a recital hall, a dance theater, and a black box theater. We also have classroom spaces, rehearsal spaces, practice rooms. JMU is an all Steinway school, so we have over 150 Steinways for practice and performance. And then our music students also have their own separate building, the music building, which houses a music library, faculty office spaces, as well as more classroom spaces and more practice rooms for our students. Within the music program, we offer a Bachelor's of Music, so it's a BM program that gives students the conservatory experience while being within a large university setting. We have about 450 undergraduate students who are, 450 students in the School of Music, and about 400 of them are undergraduate students. So 90% of our opportunities for performance, for different ensembles, for different things in the School of Music goes directly to undergraduate students, which is a really important part of that college search process to give you that experience. Within the Bachelor's of Music, we have 5 different concentrations. You can choose to concentrate in composition, jazz, music education, music industry, or music performance. And then within the music performance program for voice majors, we have a music theater concentration that kind of focuses on classic musical theater like Rodgers and Hammerstein and Gershwin with more of a singing focus. All of our students have access to private lessons for all 4 years. So you'll be working with a private instructor who is a full-time faculty member, usually with a terminal degree in their field. Our faculty members are incredibly kind and engaged in your learning process. So come and take a trial lesson with any of our faculty members in the School of Music. They're very eager to meet you. That's going to be one of the most important relationships in your college experience. And I should know because I'm actually a DMA candidate in the School of Music for voice, as well as being the recruitment coordinator for the College of Visual and Performing Arts. What our students are doing after graduation, we have many students who are involved as teachers, just like we have in our School of Art Design Art History. There are more music educators who studied at JMU and are teaching in the state of Virginia than in any other university from the Commonwealth. We also have students who are going on to become professional musicians, going on to top level graduate schools, who are making careers, hybrid careers for themselves in a variety of different musical forms. Those include working in the music industry, doing ad agencies, or working with different performing companies or in arts administration. So our students get a really well-rounded Bachelor's of Music experience that gives them the tools that they need to go on to become involved in a myriad of careers in the music areas. And finally, we have our School of Theater and Dance, which is also housed in the Forbes Center for the Performing Arts. This photo you see here is our main stage theater, where we put on typically in a year 3 or 4 theater productions and 2 musical theater productions that are a part of our main stage season. We also have our Black Box Theater, where we house our studio theater program. That's our experimental theater program, where students pick the shows, cast the shows, direct the shows, and have entire artistic control over that experience. Within the School of Theater and Dance, we have majors in dance, musical theater, and in theater. All 3 of these programs are a Bachelor's of Arts, but they are intensive BA programs. So you are going to be studying your art form while also getting a well-rounded holistic education. Some of our graduates from the program are, we have many students from the musical theater program who are going on national tours, who are working on Broadway, in major theme parks around the country, who are actively engaged as performers, directors, producers. One of the things that really sets our performing arts majors apart is that holistic education they get in the performing arts. So our students know how to do set design, they know how to do lighting design, they know how to do costume design, arts administration. They're spending a lot of time working on all of these skill sets associated with the arts. We also have theater education and dance education, and many of our students in dance are doing double majors or minors, so they're able to combine their love with multiple areas. Moving on to just a little bit of information for you guys about the virtual audition or portfolio review process. It is a 3-step process to be admitted artistically at JMU. First, we have to apply to JMU. This is for our seniors in the room. Then you have to sign up for your virtual portfolio review or audition. And the third step is to submit your supplemental application to the College of Visual and Performing Arts through SlideRoom. So if you have any more questions about any of that process, I'm happy to answer questions about that at the end or privately through the chat as we continue our conversation today. But with that, I'm going to go ahead and pass off the baton to Mary Baldwin University, and they can talk a little bit about their visual and performing arts programs.
Thank you so much, Sheena. My name is Nora Maturi, and I am an admissions counselor at Mary Baldwin University. Thank you all so much for joining us this morning. We're happy to be here with you virtually. I am joined today by a faculty member from a music department, Professor Craig Robertson. And before he hops on to speak to you about our performing and visual arts programs, I'm going to give you a brief overview about our university. So Mary Baldwin is a small university located in Stanton, Virginia. We're just 1 block away from our downtown area, which was voted one of the top 20 best small towns in America and best main streets. We have roughly 1,000 undergraduate students and an average class size of 17. So if you're looking for something a little bit more intimate, I think will be a great fit for you. Our applications are currently open. You're able to apply directly through our website or the Common App. It's free to apply to MBU. We are test optional this year. And as soon as we receive your application, we're looking to get back to you within about 2 weeks with a decision. And we are planning on having virtual auditions this spring. You could go ahead and sign up for those online, and we'll be sending updates to you all as we get closer to those dates. I'm going to go ahead and hop off and have Professor Robertson speak to you all about our visual and performing arts programs.
Thank you, Nora. Again, my name is Dr. Craig Robertson. I'm Assistant Professor of Music and the Choral Director here at Mary Baldwin. And this is my 2nd year, so it's very exciting to have you observing this opportunity. So a couple of things about our opportunities here at Mary Baldwin. As you can see, our degree opportunities, we have 4 majors in theater, music, studio art, and arts management. You can also minor in those areas, particularly in music, music education, film studies, film production, our new dance minor, art history, and studio art. So a little bit about our music opportunities. Some of our performing groups are the Baldwin Singers, which is our auditioned ensemble. I just started that this year. Our university choir, which is open to anyone within our community that are not necessarily music majors, and you don't have to audition for that. Baldwin Charm was an a cappella pop group. I know a lot of students like that opportunity. And it's unique about Baldwin Charm is that they have an opportunity to not only sing a cappella pop, but also to arrange their own music within that group. I think it's pretty cool. Although we're a small school, we still have marching band, our VWIL marching band, which is the Virginia Women's Institute for Leadership marching band. And although our school was founded for women, we are now co-ed, so our students can participate in these co-ed opportunities. Our jazz combo, a flute ensemble, strings, and we have a gospel choir called Anointed Voices of Praise. And I think that we give our students as many opportunities to perform as possible. So as you can see here, our MBU theater program is home to our Fletcher Collins Black Box Theater. They do 5 productions a year throughout the school year, which includes musicals, dramas, comedies, experimental plays, and one really important piece is the One Act Festival, where students get an opportunity to direct their own play during our May term semester. Visual arts is really important here at Mary Baldwin. We have a wonderful faculty members that are doing very creative and innovative programming for our students in our visual arts. You get individualized instruction with our professors. Being that our school is small and intimate, and you get an opportunity to work one-on-one with professors, with me, with our piano instructors, with our voice people. It's just a wonderful opportunity here. The same with our visual and performing arts. There is a photography dark room. We have renovated facilities here in our Deming Arts Building. And we allow lots of visiting artists and scholars to come and speak about art history and about current trends that's happening within our visual arts programs. So another innovative and awesome piece that we want to share with you about Mary Baldwin, we have a collaboration with the Blackfriars Playhouse, which is down the street from our campus. And it is, as you see, the world's only recreation of Shakespeare's indoor theater. Our students, undergraduates, but mostly graduate students, have opportunities to perform Shakespearean plays in a very professional setting. It is a wonderful opportunity, and people come from across the state and across our nation to attend performances in this wonderful historic building. So at Mary Baldwin, you do not have to audition to be in our ensembles, mostly only for the Baldwin Singers and Baldwin Charm. However, there is the audition process, as Nora has spoken to you about, for music majors. Some of the things that I want to share with you about career opportunities that our graduates have participated in, that several of them are working in our local public schools. Some of them are solo performing artists, and they're recording their own music, their own contemporary music. Even our current students now are recording music. They have pieces on Spotify, on Pandora, on iTunes. They're making musical tracks in their dorm rooms right now with their own recording equipment. I think that's really awesome. And several of our students are performing in local and state theaters, as well as musical theater productions around the country, and a few students over in China that are doing some musical productions over there. So as you can see in this picture, I want to point out here at the bottom left that you see a production of, it was a virtual production that was written by students that was put on, I believe it was last week. So we also have an outdoor theater on our campus that we have developed, and it's called Rose Theater. And as you can see up top right, our students, graduate students and undergrads, perform Midsummer Night's Dream outside. So it's a really great opportunity. We, as well as JMU, are an all-Steinway school, and we're very proud of that. And our choir takes a tour every year. We have grown the choir. We're very excited about the things that are happening here at Mary Baldwin. It is a great time to become a part of this community. And I think I'm going to turn it back over to Nora. I think that is my last slide.
Sure. Just to let you know, any questions you have for us, please feel free to go ahead and ask.
All righty. Good morning, everyone. My name is Zach Ostrowski. I am an admissions counselor here at Shenandoah University. I work specifically with our conservatory majors and our theater applicants. I graduated from the musical theater program in 2014, so it's been really awesome to see the growth of not only the conservatory, but the university over the past 10 years. So this panel today, we want to talk about turning your performing arts into your performing arts passion into a career. So there are a number of ways we do that here at Shenandoah. One of them is your traditional pre-professional preparation. So if you are thinking of being a performer in either music, theater, or dance, we have those opportunities for you to do those. Also, we know that that may not be what everybody's goal is when it comes to the performing arts. You may want to work in those industries that require intense knowledge of the performing arts, but have another component added to it. So for us, you're going to dive into those programs pretty specifically as well. And then we have wonderful collaborative efforts across the university with the performing arts. So if you're thinking, hey, the professional performing arts world, that's for me, then yes, we have Bachelor of Music programs in both vocal and instrumental music. We have BFA theater programs for musical theater and acting. And if you're into technical theater, we design everything in-house. So we have a theater design and production program. And then if you're thinking of being a professional dancer or choreographer, we have a BFA in dance. So as I mentioned, we have a little bit more of those programs as well, where we want you to have that training in music, theater, or dance, but also another component. But we want you to know how that all comes together. So things like music education, if you're thinking about being a teacher, if you're thinking about, hey, I love the power of music and I want to use it to help others, you might want to be a music therapist, you want to work in a recording studio, great, that's music production and recording technology for us. So we really want to dive into some of those more specific programs for you so that it's not just saying, hey, I'm getting a music degree over here and then a different degree over here, and I have to figure out what that means together. We really want you to be working on those pre-professional skills throughout your time at Shenandoah. In dance, we also have this really cool, we have a BA in dance program as well, that the dance talent level is the exact same as the BFA. It's just that you have enough room in your schedule to add another component. So if you are interested in something like physical therapy for performing artists, you could double major in dance as well as exercise science pre-PT, looking towards graduate school where we have a performing arts medicine certificate. So we have a lot of those different opportunities for you to really dive into those things. Across our conservatory, we have over 30 ensembles. They do shift year to year based on student demographic, but we have instrumental ensembles. You're going to see at least every year a symphony orchestra, an orchestra, a concert band, a percussion ensemble, various jazz ensembles. But some years, like this year, we have a trombone choir because we have enough trombone students to make that a reality. Each year we have different choral ensembles. All of these ensembles are open to all students. So even if you come to Shenandoah and you're not a conservatory student, you can still audition for these ensembles. We also have dance ensembles. We put on at least 3 dance concerts a year. Can I get to the next slide, please? Our theater division also puts on 8 university supported productions a year, typically split down the middle between 4 musicals and 4 straight plays. But one thing for us at Shenandoah is this collaboration that we have, and it's obviously in existence in the performing arts. You have to be collaborative in order to be successful. But on top of that, we go that next step. Shenandoah has something called Shenco Lab, where we actually cancel all conservatory classes for a week and we turn over our resources to our students and we say, go forth and create. It culminates in a weekend festival. So we have 3 main conservatory buildings on our campus. These whiteboards or corkboards will go up in the lobbies and students just come in and say, this is what I want to do. This is a project I have, a thought. And people can text you, email you, and get in with your productions and start to create. So some of my personal favorites, last year we had a duet between an acoustic guitar and an electric harp, so a little twist on some of that. Always new dance pieces, always new theater pieces. But this is what you do in the performing arts world, especially oftentimes after you first graduate. It's creating and curating your own content, putting it up on websites, putting it out on social media, whatever the newest platform may be. So we want you to be aware of that. We want you to start creating and starting those things now so that you can create those. The faculty can see them, other students can see them, the community comes to view them. So it's a lot of fun. And you learn how to communicate with each other. So if you're a choreographer and you're working with a composition major who's writing music for your dance piece, you need to know how to communicate with each other effectively. That composer could be up at 3 a.m. making music edits, but the choreographer is probably asleep because, they had a rehearsal yesterday for 12 hours and they're going to rehearse the next day for 8 hours. So we have some physical limitations and we learn to have those conversations in a practical way. So Shenandoah, we have a pretty easy application process. You can apply on our website. We're not on the Common App or anything like that. So su.edu. Things that we're looking for, you'll get that application in, send us your high school transcript. We are completely test blind at this point. And then you'll complete your audition or portfolio review. So if you're interested in a music program, that's going to be a music audition. and then also an interview with those specific faculty for those programs you are interested in. If you are looking at theater, for our acting and theater design programs, you will complete either an audition or an interview. In musical theater, we are part of the Get Accepted Common Pre-Screen requirements. So you'll need a pre-screen in by December 2nd, and then invitations to on-campus auditions. Dance, we do an entire day for your audition. So you'll complete at least 3 classes as well as show solo. All of these will be completed virtually this year, through a couple different platforms, but you'll still register for them like you would in a normal year on our website. They will be completed on the day of your registration. Next slide, please. So I think we're right in the thick of it right now. So if you're thinking, hey, the performing arts are for me, this is a great time to be getting in those applications, getting registered for those auditions. They are going to fill up. Absolutely, they will for us. So we want to make sure you get those in. We want to make sure we are all set for you. So that's why I think we're in that sweet spot right now to get all of that done. Musical theater pre-screen, that's a hard deadline of December 2nd. Everyone else, we just do ask that your application is in before we can confirm your audition date. So you do have up until those auditions. They'll start in December and continue through February. Now, before I pass over, next slide, please. Before I pass it over, I just want to say, if you have any questions, please feel free to reach out to either myself or my colleague, Dan Kelling. We actually just added 2 new team members as well, but we can get you settled in the right position if you have those. And maybe if you're not quite ready for this full performing arts world, Shenandoah has a ton of different opportunities where we interact with our conservatory. You know, our conservatory makes up a quarter of our student population. We put on over 400 performances a year that are all free to our students. We have a number of programs that interact regularly, like film studies and media and communications, that utilize our conservatory at a regular basis. So it's really great that this conservatory is right on a main campus, so you can really get the full experience of Shenandoah University and have access to the performing arts regardless of your major. So again, if you have any questions, feel free to put them in the Q&A, reach out to us directly. You can always scan this QR code right here if you want to get on our mailing list before I pass it over. You can get out your phone super, super quick. I know you're probably already on it, but thank you so much, and I will pass it off now.
Hey, good morning, everyone. My name is Katie Connor, and I'm an admissions counselor at CATA College, and I'm the counselor for our performing arts programs. So I am going to finish up our session by telling you guys about CATA, our arts programs, how we can connect you to a career in the performing arts. And then we'll have some time at the end for lingering questions. But like everyone has said, please feel free to drop questions in the chat at any point, and we'll be sure to answer them. So just to tell you a bit about CATA and our performing arts program specifically, we have 2 phenomenal departments of theater and music within our Schuford School of Performing Arts. Starting with theater, we have 5 theater degree options, varying from a BA in theater arts, which is the most general, expansive liberal arts degree option. Then we have 3 BFAs in design and production, in performance, or in musical theater. Then we also have a BS in theater arts administration, which is very interdisciplinary with our Kettner School of Business on campus. You can see the minors listed include dance, which is a very popular option, especially for students on those BFA tracks, especially musical theater. Let me tell you a bit about our music degree options. We have 6 very unique and different programs in our music department. Our music business degree is geared towards students who obviously want to go and work in the music business industry in some form or fashion. So that can be as an agent, as a song producer, a song engineer, tour manager. You know, some other colleagues of mine have mentioned some of these examples before. Our music education degree, very straightforward and very interdisciplinary with our education department at CATA, which allows for K-12 licensure and also that specialization in music or theater, I might add, or special ed or physical ed. Our music performance degree is very expansive and not genre specific in a way that some other schools might have it geared toward just classical or just jazz or something like that. So if you're thinking about a performance degree, I'm happy to answer any questions about that. Our popular music program is actually our most unique, and this is one of about 12 in the country that are geared towards students who want to make it specifically in popular music. So this could be as a performer, it could still be on the business side of things as a producer or engineer or things of that sort, but specifically within popular music. Some of our popular music faculty always like to phrase it to students as the American Idol bunch. So if you might be a singer-songwriter, or you might really want to be in that world, that would be a perfect program for you, a very rare program. Then finally, our sacred music and worship arts programs are for students who want to work perhaps as a music director or an organist or a pianist or something of that sort in a church or liturgical setting. Catawba College, we have a loose affiliation with the Church of Christ, but those programs are completely non-denominational, as is campus in general. So that's not geared towards a specific Christian denomination. It's for students who want to work in any of those fields or denominations. So let me tell you a bit about these numbers. You can actually go back on the slide if you don't mind. I want to stay on the photos for a minute. We have over 6 theater productions per year. And something that's unique about Catawba is that we don't gate any of our productions for theater or music. So what that means is that at some schools, you may have to wait until you're a junior or senior to get a main lead in a production, or you might have to be a BFA student or in a particular program or things like that sort. We don't do that at Catawba. So you can be being cast in main productions your first semester. And you don't have to be an art student, and you can still be getting cast in these productions. We also have 4 really gorgeous performing arts venues with a 1,500 traditional proscenium stage, a smaller modified thrust, a really flexible black box theater. And then we have a Hoke Hall, which is that venue you see in the middle photo. That's our primary music venue for our ADP program, which I'll explain. Finally, we have over 11 ensembles and organizations. And like some of my other colleagues said, it really just depends, on the students we have on campus, on the interest. Those are always fluctuating. The only thing we don't typically have is a strings orchestra. So I always like to warn students, if you're wanting to perform on that level, Catawba might not be the best fit for you. But with that being said, I always like to share an anecdote of one of our students who is now making it really big in the art scene. Was a fiddler who came to Catawba, and it was because he didn't want to play in an orchestra. He wanted to be in our popular music program and really make it as a solo fiddler and collaborative fiddler with other bands and friends. So he has been doing quite well despite us not having those programs. Let me tell you a bit about Catawba more generally now. We're a bit of an outlier compared to some of the other colleges that spoke, because we are in Salisbury, North Carolina. Salisbury is a small town of about 35,000 people, and we're about 40 minutes right from the heart of Charlotte, which is the largest city in North Carolina and second largest business hub in the country. We're also about 40 minutes from Winston-Salem and 50 minutes from Greensboro, which are other top metropolitan areas. So I always like to tell my art students, you kind of have the best of both worlds. You have a lot going on in Salisbury, a lot going on campus, but then you have awesome access to these metropolitan areas, which have great art scenes as well. A little bit about Salisbury. It's known for commitment for cultural preservation and arts and culture. So despite being so small, there's 4 theater venues downtown. There's a professional Salisbury Symphony Orchestra. There's stuff going on pretty much every weekend. We are a private liberal arts college of about 1,300 students, students from over 29 states and 19 countries. And 38% of our student body are students of color. We're really proud to also serve a large percentage of first generation students as well. You can go ahead and go on to the next slide. So just a bit about our audition process as it pertains to performing arts students. we just ask that you apply generally to the college first, and I'll explain our application logistics on our next slide. But then we ask that you submit pre-screening materials if you're thinking about theater, and that is on that accepted platform that has already been mentioned, and set up a masterclass Saturday date. Like my colleagues, we are doing our masterclass Saturday virtually, but that's kind of the unique program we have at CATA, where you're not necessarily re-auditioning in person. You're getting to sit in on a masterclass that our faculty host and see if CATA is a good fit for you. You know, we care a lot about helping you guys find the right fit in this process, and we think that the masterclass is a great way to do that. So we have that virtual date. For music, same thing. You'll fill out an audition request form and then have that virtual experience. If you can go to the next slide. I want to talk real quickly about some of these top scholarships. So CATA is a rolling admissions institution, meaning we don't quite have a deadline. You can apply whenever you like, and we'll get back to you within 2 weeks. With that being said, we do have a November 1st priority deadline, and I want to highlight a couple of these scholarships that you would be eligible for if you apply by then. Our Socratic Scholarship is our top merit-based opportunity. It's a full tuition scholarship for one incoming student per year. So what happens is if you apply and you meet one or both of those eligibility requirements, which is just GPA this year, you'll automatically be invited to interview and compete for that scholarship opportunity. The other one I want to mention that's time sensitive is this one on the right, the Burnett Hopgood Theater Art Scholarship. So if any of you tuning in or listening to this recording are theater students and you meet that GPA requirement, we conduct screenings for that during that masterclass Saturday process. So if we think you're a good fit, we'll invite you to do a final interview for that. And that is one full tuition scholarship for a theater student per year. So really exciting opportunities. We also have just general music and theater scholarships. So that audition process isn't required. It's only required for the BFA candidates, but we require it for scholarshiping purposes. So let me know if you have any questions. Our application's free. It's on CATA's website or on Common App. We have 2 types of application. You can apply regularly with transcript and test scores, or you can apply test optional, which would just add a letter of recommendation and writing sample. If you can go to the next slide, it just shows my contact information. If you have any questions about CATA or performing arts programs at all, these couple QR codes will take you to a video tour and our informational video. But I am out of time. So with that being said, we want to open it up to any questions. And while we're waiting for some of those to come in the Q&A, I will ask one to our group of panelists just to kick us off while we wait for any to come on in. But I think our first question is, when it comes to this audition process or portfolio process, what questions do you guys often get, and what advice is good to be giving to students right now in this process?
I can start off with that. Sorry, I saw you unmute like just as I was unmuting at the same time. I mean, my biggest piece of advice always is that there's so much in the audition process, even at the collegiate level, that is out of your control, regardless of the programs you're auditioning for. So all you can do is be in charge of yourself and prep. Do the prep and then bring joy to the audition room. If you bring joy to the audition room, play a piece you love, dance to a song you like, sing a song you like, whatever, whatever it may be, we see that. We see that on the other side. We see that you absolutely love what you're doing. And I think that's the biggest thing. And just don't be worried about what the other person's doing. And I know that's super hard to acknowledge and accept. Trust me, I've been through it. I've been to New York. I've done this, and you sit outside the hallway and you just hear someone else just squelching their face off, and you're like, oh my God, I'm never gonna match this person. Trust me, the Book of Mormon open call was a fun one to be standing around outside of. But it's like, that's my best advice. Just bring that joy. Don't stress. Get in your application, register, do your homework, and be ready to go.
I'd like to just jump in and say that's exactly right. As far as coming in with putting your best foot forward, having joy and having passion about what you do. But I would also like to say that our faculty members are very, very interested in getting to know you, even as prospective students. So don't hesitate to go to our website for the School of Music, School of Theater and Dance, School of Art, Design, Art History. Find that professor who's in the area that you're interested in, and shoot them an email. All of our faculty members give free private lessons, trial lessons to students prior to applying to the university in their senior year. So there's no better way to kind of know if JMU is going to be the right fit for you than by connecting with our faculty and seeing what they're doing in their classrooms, and to learn a little bit about their philosophies. They can really help you find the best materials for submitting as a part of that audition and portfolio review process. For our visual arts students, definitely register for a virtual portfolio review. They are optional but highly recommended. So just engaging with the university as much as you can during this process. I know you have a lot of schools that you're looking at and a lot of things on your plate with senior year as well, but taking that time to connect with the people who are going to be a part of your collegiate experience, I think has been the thing that has benefited those students the most who have decided to come to JMU.
May I just jump in? I'm a man of few words until I get to know you. So I want to say, on top of all of that, I want to say that we know that the audition process is very stressful, and you're probably very nervous and you're probably unsure. And it shows me a little bit about how well you did. But I want to complete that you have when you're prepared. And we also know when you're not prepared. So we know those things because we know that nerves get in the way. And this is, as we say, unprecedented times. So unroll that. I want encourage you to, as my other colleague, those professors, get to know them, and consider that the professors who you attend, that is going to go with you for the rest of your life. They're going to shape and mold you into the artist that you desire to be.
Yeah, we lost a little bit of that, Craig. It looks as though your screen is kind of frozen up here, but I think that's a new skill we have all learned here in the last 6 or 7 months is Zoom interpretation. And there was a lot of what you said that that is spot on. So thank you so much for that. I'd like to kind of pose a question to our group here. And I wonder if people can talk a little bit about some of the alumni, if you have alumni in certain fields and maybe individual alumni, or to talk a little bit about what they are doing now after graduation.
Yeah, I can start with that one. So at Catawba, most of our theater alums, well, most of our theater students, I should say, are graduating with a contract in hand to work in some type of regional or national theater companies. So really the majority are going into regional theater or New York or Chicago. And I have several names I could drop. A lot also go into BFA programs. And when it comes to music, we have several who, it's really, with our popular music program, the most noteworthy students or alums, again, are Dustin Chapman. He's been traditionally making the top 50 country charts. And we have some secrets we can't release publicly yet about some new things that are happening with some of our music alums, because you guys know how that is. But I think it runs the gamut of students finding careers in performing arts, whether it's theater or music or other fields, just depending on kind of, you know, the programs they chose, what they did to build their resumes in college, and what their goals were. But they have a lot of success, which we're really proud of.
we were really fortunate at JMU about 3 weeks before the whole world kind of closed down for the pandemic, which who would have known that back in early February. We held an event where we brought 6 young alums back to campus. And it was really exciting getting to see the work of what students are doing even 10 years out of college. We had one student who was, she's a curator at the Metropolitan Museum of Art, working in different mediums, working in textiles and with kind of common objects. We had another student who is living in Los Angeles, who has been a film composer. He's he wrote music for the new Fast and Furious series. He played all the piano on Crazy Rich Asians. So it was really cool just kind of hearing some of the things that they were doing. Another alum who is an architect in Hawaii, within 10 years after graduation, designing sports centers and performing arts venues out there. Another alum who is working on Broadway. She was just recently in the production of Miss Saigon in New York City and was working in DC at the Signature Theater. And then another alum who is working at Carnegie Hall, running one of their Ensemble Connect programs, which sends small groups into public schools, working with low-income students and also specialized populations like prisons to give access to really high-quality musical programs. And then the last alum is a practicing visual artist as well as an educator. So it was really exciting getting to know just these 5 or 6 alumni and hearing their stories, because I think it's one thing when you're a high school senior thinking about, okay, I have this passion for the performing arts and I want to do this when I go out to college, but it's another to see what people are doing in the field and to really connect with them that way. So that was really exciting for me and for JMU Arts, I think, to have that experience of seeing those alumni doing so well within 10 years after graduation.
On that note, I want to give a big round of thank yous to all of our panelists today as we come to the conclusion of today's chat about all the visual performing arts. So thank you so much to all of our students who joined us. We appreciate you coming out. And a couple reminders before we officially close out the Zoom. This is going to be a quick survey that pops up after you are close out your Zoom room, and we would appreciate it if you'd be able to answer those questions for us so we can continue to improve. And also remember, there's more sessions to sign up for, and a recording will be available of today's session if you'd like to review it again later. So again, thank you so much to our panelists, and we hope you all have a great rest of your day. Bye, everybody.